I'm going to show you how to use Google's Search Console to improve a page ranking instantly. I'm going to do it live. My name is Brody Shepherd. I'm the owner of Site Center here in Australia, and I'm going to run you through how we improve page rankings using free tools that works and it's replicatable over any industry. In this instance, we're going to do it for Fix Today Plumbing in Sydney. We've got access to their WordPress and their Google Search Console, and we're going to show you exactly what we do to improve it. So the first thing we do is obviously have Google Search Console set up. If you don't, make sure you do, because it's invaluable information that is free and offers such great insight into what's happening and why it's happening. So one of the first things you want to do is click on performance. Now, this isn't the information you're after. It's very important to make sure that you click on the country and you select your primary country. You can see here that 82,000 impressions are served here in Australia, but combined across just the top 10 is significantly more than 82,000. So you don't want to get false information and act on information from people that aren't actually your target demographic. So make sure you select your target demographic. In this instance, it's Australia. It'll update the graph, it'll update all the information, and it becomes more insightful at this point. We will go back as far as humanly possible. We'll go last 16 months for this. You can see their organic growth and their CTR growth and their average position growth. So CTR and average position will typically be pretty flatlined. There is a little bit of movement here, but it's typically flatlined, and the main reason for that is when you add a new page, you're typically a bad position. So your average position will typically be pretty poor. And the same goes for CTR. It's fairly flatlined as well, and that's pretty common. So just keep in mind, the more pages you have, the lower that your average position will be. So if you have 1 page or 2 pages, your average position is going to be fairly high, depending on the keywords that you're going for. Today we're going to focus a lot on clicks, not so much the CTR and average position, but impressions and clicks. But we do use the position data in this video, but doing a full audit, you will do every page, not just the ones that I'm talking about here. So you want to pick pages, and you want to pick a page that has a position average of between 5 and 10 to start with, and then once those are all done, you'll move into 10 to 15. So we're going to pick one that is between 10 and 15, because I know I've already done these ones, and we're going to improve its rankings live. So I'll pick a suburb. Chipping Norton's probably a good one, and we'll work out their clicks and impressions. So they've got an okay impression count. The CTR is pretty bad, but it's getting better. Their average position though is page 2. We now want to go back to the queries and look at the queries from a impressions point of view, and we'll expand this out so we can see all the different things that people are searching for that will make us appear. So if I search for the primary keyword here, Plumber Chipping Norton, and scroll down, okay, I've already moved up, so we've done that page. We'll find a new page. So we definitely want to choose a suburb, because that's just the type of thing we're doing for them right now. So between these, Denham Court's probably a good one. So we'll search for their primary keyword. We'll try again. Hopefully we're not up there. Perfect. So we're not on the first page. We're second on the second page. So that's fantastic. So the call to action isn't too bad. Their title, description, and everything's not too bad. We do have this little icon which adds a little bit of CTR value there, but we're not first page. So that's sort of what I'm trying to get at here. We're 12th position. So we'll go to this page, we'll click edit, and we'll work out what the queries are on this page. So we perform a little bit better for the plumber variation opposed to plumbers variation. We've also got a block drain and some general inquiries from people within the area. Obviously, Google tries to localize search terms, so if they are in the area of Denham Court, then they will start to see generalized terms, and they'll start to see those pages appear in those generalized terms. And you'll typically see that these are more so aimed towards the map pack than the actual page itself. But what our aim is here is to go into this page and work out whether these queries actually appear on the page or not. So you'd copy it, paste it. So you can see that we don't have an exact match term for that page. Now we do have, if we just search for the location, it does appear 8 or 9 times. So it's in the first paragraph, in the title, the second paragraph, the fourth paragraph. It appears in the map, which we're not going to count, and it appears once here. So where it does appear though is, and we want to look at the words before and the words after every time. So plumbing company in Denham Court is potentially a search query, so that's fine. Plumbers in is also. Plumbing in is an alteration of this. You got plumbers Denham Court. So this is similar to what we're looking for, the pluralized version of it. But as you go down, like premium services in, this doesn't need to appear there. We can definitely remove this and replace it with something of more relevance, such as emergency plumber, Denham Court. And that's sort of it. So what we want to do is go through each of the queries and make sure that we're ticking off ones that do and don't appear on page. And we want to make sure that we have as many as we can without going over the top. We don't want to just flood the page with the main primary keyword. We want to make sure that it's spread out evenly, but we're also using variations of certain terms. So we appear for block drains, which is fantastic, but blocked drains could also be clogged drains. It could also be backed up drains. It's the same word. It's a synonym of the word. So you want to include synonyms or LSI keywords to be more technical about it. But in general, we want to make sure that we're including each different type of keyword to improve the ranking. Now, this little proxy image here doesn't really fit. It's something that we would improve and make a higher resolution version of that. However, for this, we're just going to leave it as that. And we're also going to look at adding a external link to Wikipedia for the suburb if it doesn't already exist. So it doesn't. So we want to make sure that we're including an external link. So we'll typically just search for the location, go to the Wikipedia page for that location. Occasionally, if the location has its own website, like it's Sydney and it has a sydney.com.au, we'd include that as well. But linking out to high authority pages gives you domain or page ranking authority. So you want that page authority as well as so we'll remove that altogether. We'll look for, if it's hard to find an instance in which you can easily link out to the location, create one. So you could put something like a fact that you found within the Wikipedia page, what its population could be, what its postcode is, where it's located, things like that, or historical data. Include things like that can make it easier to link out to. So we will do that. So I'm going to remove this top instance of the primary keyword, and I'm going to create a new paragraph. So I'm going to put So something simple. It's not necessarily for SEO, but it's more for the fact that we now have something to link. We can now link out, make an external link or reference to something of authority. So that's really important. Having things like what a tourist attraction, and depending on your industry, you could have other higher rating authority pages to rank out to, other than just Wikipedia. But Wikipedia works as a safe fallback and the easy go-to. So plumbers in the home court. And then later on, down at the bottom, we could put if you are looking for a reliable something simple. It's the variation, it's the reversed option of the Plumber Denham Court. So it's something that people do search for front and backwards, so making sure that we include it somewhere else down on the page is really important as well. Now, making sure that these aren't heading 2s, they are definitely heading, these are definitely heading 2s and not heading 3s is really important. So we'll go ahead and make that alteration. Now, these are heading 3s because we have a primary heading 2 there, so we'll remove that and we'll replace it with 2. So whoever created this page obviously had the wrong name there anyway, and we're also linking out to other pages to give those pages authority, and there'll be pages that link to this page to give it authority. Now, things like block drains, improving the rankings for Denham Court block drains or block drains in Denham Court is something that you really want to rank for as well. So having the word block drains multiple times is great, but you want to have the LSI version as well, so, or the synonymous version. So blocked is also clogged, so you could easily add so just adding variations of words. Burst could be broken, leaking could be, can't think of one off the top of my head. Hot water system is your heating system or heater, hot water heater. There's variations of each different type of keywords, and it's easy to search for leaking synonym and find something that you know that your writing capabilities is able to add into a sentence. So drip, including the word drip instead of leaking tap. So if your tap is dripping, call this person, blah, 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 blah. Making those slight adjustments can improve your rankings significantly. Adding schema markup can also help improve the rankings of the page. We do have schema markup on this page, so we don't need to necessarily improve that. This one hasn't been too bad. We have got nearly all the terms that we're looking for here, and emergency is probably one that we could add. So we've got the word emergency there. Experts in all. So we've included ASAP, which is emergency, and immediate, which is also emergency. So we've added variations of that as well. So typically when you do this and you find pages that are ranked high, I'm going to save that and I'll publish it and I'll show you how the rankings get improved immediately. The more of these you do, the faster this happens. But things like with more impressions makes this job a lot easier. So if you are in an industry with low impressions, try and expand out your date range as far as possible to try and enhance the amount of impressions that you have. More impression data is obviously more keywords that have been searched for and makes the job significantly easier. Something like Burwood, where the average position is horrific, and it's got a lot of impression data, we can grab all these different variations of keywords and compile them into that page. Now, knowing that one suburb has all these terms and another doesn't necessarily mean people don't search for it. So having, urgent plumber Burwood doesn't mean people don't search for it for the other suburb we just did. It just means that the impression data wasn't there. There's more people in this suburb, or we rank better in this suburb, so we get more of that impression data. Come up with a list in Excel of all the different variations of the suburb, and then make sure that they're being included. Now, you don't want to include the word Burwood or the suburb name or the primary keyword more than a couple times on the page. You want to keep it minimal. And if it is over, 2% or 1% of the actual page's content, you want to remove a significant amount. 4 or 5 times on a page is normally enough. We're being pretty aggressive here by having it 8 to 10 times. However, if you don't rank first page, or you're ranking page 3 or 4 and you're stuck there, try removing a couple instances of your primary keyword and you'll notice a significant drop. A great way of working this out is copy the content, wordcounter.net, and paste the content. It'll come up with a table of your most aggressive words and keyword densities. So the word fixed appears 5% of the time and today. So the business name fixed today appears, too many times. We could definitely reduce that. We're not going to rank this page for the word fixed today. It's just based on that. So you want to make sure that you're not going over that 5% or even 3% is max. Stay under 3%. If you do find that the suburb name is well above or your primary keyword is well above that, reduce it. You will notice significant increases in rankings. So all we've done is removed an instance and created some synonyms and some unique variations of the word. And now what we're going to do is index it. So we'll resubmit it by putting it in the URL, clicking submit, and running a new search. This will re-index it. Google will research the page and submit it. And a large majority of the time, within 5 minutes, I can research for that keyword that we searched for before, and we'll be 3 or 4, maybe 5 positions better off than what we were. And in some cases, when you start to get into editing 50th position plus, making these alterations can jump you to page 2, maybe page 3 instantly, and then it's just minor perfections from there. So as you jump from page 5 to page 2, you start to get more impression data. So that as that impression data starts to feed in, you can then look at going back in there in 2 or 3 months with more impression data and making alterations again to make improvements just on the content. This is no link building. This is free tools. This is just using content and the reports that Google provides you that you're ranking for to make improvements to your rankings. As well as doing that, link out to an external source as we did linking to Wikipedia, and making sure that your headings are heading 2s and not heading 3s if they should be heading 2s, and making sure that, if you do have heading 3s, definitely have the heading 3s, but making sure that it's done correctly, and making sure images are full width. That'll take a little bit longer, so I'll do that at a later point, but we'll leave it a couple minutes and I'll cover that and I'll do the search again and I'll show you that whether either moved up or it will move up. And when you do start to go into further pages, I would have preferred to have shown you something, 15 to 20 position, because they move easily, and the further back you go, the easier it is to move them. If you're page 1, typically you'll see a 1 or 2 position movement, and you don't always see movement when you're that high up on the page. But what you'll notice is over the next week, as long as you've indexed it, if you don't index it, it'll take 2 weeks. So index it. You'll notice that if you don't move straight away over the next couple of days, you'll start to move up, and you'll move up 1 or 2 positions. It's something that it's not going to get you to first position, but it's a step forward in making sure that you can be at first position. Now, what I should have also done is the title and the description. Our titles and descriptions are fairly well optimized anyway. However, we have a new format in which we're going with because we're finding better results, and it's this one. And I'll actually make that change and resubmit it. We're finding this has a better click-through rate, and through testing, we've identified that it has a better click-through rate. The description still will remain the same. Actually, no, it won't. There. Update. There. There's a space between that. Update. So we're noticing this has a better click-through rate, so we're going to continue to run with that method. We'll update all the pages with that new title, and then we'll test another title. So in a month's time, we'll see whether that's got a better click-through rate. And with reports, we could easily identify the click-through rate, especially within Google Search Console. We'll be able to identify new and better ways to get clicks and so forth. They definitely help with your conversion. If you have multiple pages for suburbs, or you have multiple pages in your index already, making these types of adjustments and not just doing one page here and there, but doing 20 now and then 20 tomorrow, 20 the next day, very quickly you will see significant traffic spikes. You will see significant traffic growth, and that is where the impact is. Doing one now and then not doing another one for another week, or doing one a day, it won't make you visually aware of the impact it's having. You really need to do several at a time so you can visually see the growth in which you're experiencing. And these aren't rankings that you lose either. These are rankings that you gain, and they stay where you gain. And it's not saying that today I can improve this by 1 position and tomorrow I'm going to do it again. It doesn't work like that. It is one of those once-off hacks that you can do, and then in 2 or 3 months, then you can do it again. But keeping in mind that you've done that page before, and that you're not now over-optimizing and can then and thus lose positions instead of gain positions. So we are going to search for our primary keyword now and just see where we're ranking. I may need to go incognito. And because we changed the title, we will actually see whether it's updated or not. So you can see we haven't updated. It's still the old title. So we just need to wait that little bit longer for Google to process that page correctly and accordingly. But you can see that the growth is fairly consistent when you do this method. And this is one of the only methods that we're touching on this domain. We do a little bit of linking, but over time you start to see growth, and it's just optimization of content and pages. And this is where we do it very quickly, and then you start to see instant growth. Doing it on just one page, you'll notice massive spikes, but doing it via domain, you'll notice consistent and healthy growth. But making sure that you're also working on that click-through rate as well. We use a little method of putting a little trophy there, and there's other strategies like putting things in brackets that can increase the click-through rate. That's very useful information that helps create better click-through, and click-through rate does help with ranking positions. So definitely utilize those strategies when looking at improving. So I'm not sure if it's going to be very quick or not. Sometimes it takes a while depending on the time of day, depending on what they're doing, but we can also use a tool, and if we're cached, then we won't see updates immediately, so this tool can help determine where we are as well. So you can see right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're still in 11th position where we were, but the title still hasn't updated. So I'm going to pause the video and then I'm going to add it once it is updated. Okay, I'm back. So the rankings have now improved, so I'm able to search for the term. We are still in the same position by the looks of it. However, keep in mind that over the next couple of days, that position will start to increase fairly quickly. And if you are doing impactors about positioned between, say, 15 and 20, you'll start to see bigger growth than moving to that first page. That first page transition is typically the hardest. However, moving to the second page is very easy. Moving from any other page to the second page is very, very easy. It's a strategy that I strongly recommend you take advantage of, and it's something that we tackle. Part of all of our SEO plans is it's the very first thing that we do is audit that information, make sure that those keywords are in each page, and we're not keyword stuffing. If there are any sort of feedback that you'd like to give us in terms of how we've presented this video, if there's information about how you've managed to implement this strategy into your website and the results that you're generating from this, we'd love to hear it. Please leave it in the comments. Like the video, please subscribe. We'll be creating a lot more content around SEO and how we're doing our SEO and how we're generating our clients near on guaranteed results each and every time, because we know what we're doing. We use data, and similar to this strategy, we just use data to analyze and make alterations to the page in order to improve the rankings. And we'll continue to make on-page and off-page and technical SEO changes and videos over the coming weeks and months, and hopefully indefinitely making videos about SEO, paid performance, audits, and so forth. So please leave us a comment and subscribe. It goes a long way. My name is Brody. Hopefully you've taken a lot of useful information out of this video, and I'll see you in the next.